From Jenga Varipana, President of the Senate, Edna Matsongwe, Ministers Wose Varipana, Vakuru vedu vakamirira madzishe acharumbira nevamwe vavo vari pano. Mhuri yose yatinayo, members of parliament vanovandiwa nezuva ranhasi, and I was delighted that practically all members of parliament, regardless of party, attended. Your unity on national issues that I thought we had developed during that period of our inclusive government. And I thought we were going to carry on with that tradition of finding ourselves, regardless of our party affiliation, regardless of where we come from, and regardless of our political persuasions, in recognizing that we all belong to each other. In March 1980, just before independence, I was asked what our own position and attitude would be towards those who had for nearly a century been our oppressors. The settlers were amongst us. And I said, yesterday, as we fought each other, we were opponents and very hostile to each other. But now, with the coming of independence, those of us who were opponents or enemies and stood on one side, and we on the other, and who are amongst us and belong to the country, well, there is no way we could divide ourselves, because the phenomenon of sovereign independence and its granting of nationality and citizenship bound us all together, all of us who belonged, all of us who were citizens of the country. It was a different matter when, of course, one considered our affiliations, various affiliations, party, religion, even our tribal origins. We behave differently, perhaps, in those areas. But the fact of oneness, national oneness, covered by national sovereignty, meant there was no way we could reject each other. And so we had found each other. Even those who had fought against us, they were now part of us. Sure, the history would remain very clear, legibly written, but it is that history also, as it evolved through the revolution that was carried out, which has yielded, which I was saying, the phenomenon of independence, the phenomenon of a Zimbabwean nationality. And so it was. We found ourselves working with the Ian Smiths. So it was. We found ourselves having to incorporate those who had actually shot and killed many of our people into the army. And we said bygones were bygones. Let us now lay down our swords and turn them into plowshares, I say, and work for Zimbabwe as one. And the differences we have between parties are political differences. We, as Zimbabweans, belong to each other. I cannot reject a man who belongs to MDC or to, what is that 99 thing? and say you are not one of us. Yes, I can say you are not one of us when I'm looking at the membership of Zambia. But when I'm looking at our nationality and Zimbabwe as a whole, no, I could never utter a thing like that. And he has the right to say, although I am 99 and you're only 90 years old, but we all both belong to each other. And therefore we find each other that way. And mind you, when you talk about Zimbabwe, food security, is food security for everyone. No discrimination. Our people must eat and survive. Even the thieves that we chase at night, they're entitled to food, but not stolen food, of course. They must earn their food properly, but food, indeed, they're entitled to. And that's it. It was unfortunate that after the results of July 31, the election results last year, that others decided politically not to recognize those results. And otherwise, there would be no way, no real tariff, you might say, or border between them and ourselves in talking about national issues. But unfortunately, they erected a barrier of not recognizing the election. And it is not possible if they don't recognize the president or the government or the president to recognize them also. So there it is. But I'm just emphasizing this phenomenon of unity and phenomenon of our being correct in our perspective as we look at ourselves. I want to thank you, Minister Jombo, for all you have said in Parliament. I try to give ourselves the vision as we see it, developmental vision. Naturally, the main engine being our gymnastics. But gymnastics should not remain just a name. Gymnastics must be a practical engine. On paper we say yes, we need food to produce food. On paper we say yes, we need to produce products and beneficiate them. That we, as an indigenous people, must equip ourselves and sustain that development. That's what the paper says. But if what we say on paper is not put in practice, then the paper is I mean, the ideas are not worth even the paper they are written on. And this is it. We must be practical people now, and not just theorists. Do, act. Act and act and act and act more. We have a tendency to have debates. There's a meeting there, President, come and open this. Oh, we have this issue now. Come, I have a whole string of invitations to meetings. I would want to be invited to see what is going on. Are we being invited to see an irrigation scheme, a dam being constructed? A new mine being opened? Or the road by bridge, Mashingo, Warani, being done? That's then we'll tell the story of Zimbabwe. And this is where our ministers must play their part. Sit less on your chairs and if wakatemerwa nyora dzedzvatsvatsva mangwana waenda kune meeting mangwana, just now I am fed up too much traveling. Too much traveling, very little attention is being given to practical work. We can't see Zimbabwe succeeding. We want to see things happening in agriculture. We can't just be talking. Yes, the people will try to do something because they must work for their livelihood when the rains come. But irrigation schemes, where are they? And agriculture, what has happened to cold storage? Dying. The parasitos, they are the ones that sustain agriculture. We should see them working. Terrible. We are buying milk from South Africa, powdered milk, because there is shortage of milk in the country. So, let us ensure that we are practical. And the party which leads government should supervise that the policies that it enunciates and wants to see government adoption of. Spend time there and not time wanting to know, Congress is coming, what will I do? Some war is going on in my party. People want positions, they want even to push senior people out. The same is also happening in MTC. Only yesterday we had it as an intact during inclusive government. Now it is, I don't know how many pieces. Now you'll be what? MDC what? MDC this. Something called renewal. Renewing what? Renewing the MDC. Those things are not really what matter. If you're in position, use your position effectively. Use the position you have effectively. Kwende kuda kusunda wame, kuti utore ili, koya unayo iwe toigona here. And this is, it's wasting our time. We should be in the field working. And as we go to Congress, it must be going to Congress to see how we can be more effective in our practical programs. And not to see who and who I shall push out and where I shall go, we shall go. Well, the ZANU-PF, I can assure you, is a solid party. We won't have any nonsense. None at all. No rubbish. We are constant as the Northern Star. That's it. And it's a party, mind you, which combines persons who carry the tradition of the past four past parties. There's a Mecca, strong. And we were not, when we had these parties, National Democratic parties, we never campaigned for positions. You're going to go into this position, yes, I will work in that position. You go into this position, yes. Industry swapano, uiwai swapa, see, come on. And Radai swapano, I'm now going to use this position, you know, to achieve A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D, which has to do with pushing others out. You know, planning dirty tricks against others all the time. And that's what these so-called partisans are daily dreaming, daily talking about, daily feeding on. So we get to Congress and we want to stop all that nonsense. If people are tired, and Mama Mugabe vakashitsa pati pano kwandakabva nemabhunu majeri masango nevakomana zonzi kamwana kadikuwo zvako. I know when time comes I'll tell you. But for now, okay. We adopted this. Actually, I introduced it. After the formation of Zimbabwe, I said, we've been waving our hand to the white man saying, hello, hello, all the time. This was it. Now time has come for us to and fight. That's how it started. Well, there we are. But it's not fight against each other. It's fighting the real enemy. Let us learn to define the enemy. And the ideology we learned from Mao Zedong was, well, you should know that contradictions do happen. Now, my contradictions are one. You have contradictions which are of a lighter nature. You have others which are very, very damaging. And it, right. Now, those are the contradictions we must sit and resolve. When they cause hostility, they are antagonistic. And we don't need them. We don't need them in our society even. That is what our religious pastor was saying here. And his prayer was a kind of sermon. If you listen to it, solve your contradictions harmoniously. Unite. Unity, unity, unity. And let us unite. Right, I want to thank you for having come. Thank MPs for listening to me this morning. And what I want to say is that the way forward must be the way forward of us together. We will do our best. We are getting more and more friends ready to give us support. And even some members of the European Union are beginning to say, no, we want to cooperate with you economically. But the British, we are saying no. If bilaterally you want to work with us, leave the British alone if they want to continue their sanctions. We don't know whether what they promise to do, they will do. That come November, they will remove the sanctions. We don't know. The United States, we don't know what they have in mind. To tell you the truth, I don't understand Obama at all. I don't understand it, because he found sanctions on. And if really is a man of intelligence, he would have said, what do these sanctions mean? Why were they imposed at all? But not just to accept what Bush had done. And after all, Bush and Blair, you know. The twosome. Thoroughly dishonest, thoroughly hypocritical, and thoroughly violent. That's how they wanted to make their names at the same time also get resources from countries. Tell lies about them, about Saddam Hussein having weapons of mass destruction. And publish this, television everywhere, this man is bad. Yes, huge weapons, he's a dangerous man to the rest of the world. And many countries believe it. They believe this. After they had attacked Iraq and killed him, Saddam Hussein, then they said, no, they made a mistake. He had no weapons of mass destruction. In the meantime, the brother of Bush and his company had been sucking the oil from Iraq. The same story. Libya is harassing and killing civilians. We want to go and defend civilians in Libya. And we in Africa, we are stupid enough to support the European countries in the Security Council. We gave them the 2/3 majority that they needed. And when NATO went into Libya, they wanted to kill, completely eliminate his family. I mean, the family of Gaddafi. Eventually, they got him, got hold of him, and dealt with him in the same way they dealt with Saddam Hussein. In the meantime, we shared the oil, and we got it even in news internationally. They had given Italy, for example, 35% of the oil, and others percentages. And now there is chaos in Libya. It is as if they never went there, as if the chaos is as a result of the Libyans failing to agree, to unite. They united under Gaddafi. We didn't quite agree with Gaddafi's way of ruling, but we thought in time, as he related to all of us at the African Union, he would actually transform. And we saw him wanting to transform his political system. But oh no, that was not good enough. They wanted to get rid of him. Yeah, because the Europe now is without resources, natural resources. They must get them from Africa, which have lots of oil in Africa, lots of minerals in Africa, lots of animals, wild animals too. lots of green too, forests. And of course, alas, Africa still has poor people. Africa, although liberated, we thought over time, with the likes of Nkrumah, Sekou Touré, Modibo Keita, and others having led the struggle for Africa's freedom, followed by Nyerere and others. No, we are not free at all in Africa. Our resources still lie in the hands, in the control of the Europeans. We still now worship the Europeans as our masters in practice. The AU would be divided on an issue which affects Europe. And you'll find Francophone countries going to France wanting the views of France. And they will say and do what France wants them to say and do. The Anglophone also they want to think of the aid that we have been getting from America or from Europe will cease if we become radical and militant. And that's why I've said, even to Sadiq, my Sadiq colleagues, that I don't belong to you. Unfortunately, I belong to those who are gone. Anana Nyerere, Anana Samora, Anana Machel. Samora Machel, KK, Nyerere. Those who stood for what was right, regardless of consequences. Those who offered us their countries. They said, come, you fight from here. Some are gone. Nkrumah, when I say Victoria, the founders of the OAU. And they long for the past. I long for the past to come back with these leaders. And alas, no. That's not what history does. It's not retrospective in pace, it's prospective in pace. You are unfolding, going on into the future. But as we go on into the future, the breeds that we are having, yes, they may have lots of degrees, doctorates, yes, but they want the white man again. Even within ZANU-PF, we want Mugabe to go so we can relate to AU, to America, to Europe, because he's the one preventing us from getting periods that would come from America. Goodness thinking, rotten thinking like that. And all these years, all this oppression, you have not learned that those will never be your economic friends in practice. They will give you a bit of money. So as to subject your intellect, your thinking. And that is how you sell. You are selling yourselves. You must then think like they. You must then want to do what they want you to do. You will then also have to accept in some cases. Even if they ask you to accept the unnatural, that man can marry man, woman marry woman, and you say, yes, I'll accept that. And you say, these people have the rights. They have the rights to do so, to marry each other. Where do they derive the right? Because nature does not give them that right. God did not give them that right. But he'll have you. He'll have you. Go to Britain, the likes of those Van Bush and Sir, they agree that a person has a freedom to choose who to marry, whether that means marrying another man or not. You haven't got that freedom. You must be insane to think that you have that freedom. You have the freedom which is guided by what is called rationality. Are you not able rationally to establish that you are a man? You can't say you're a man, you can't say she's a woman. You can't establish that the two of you are the ones who can procreate, have children. No, you have the freedom to go into the wrong direction, and they say that must be legitimized. Your law must allow it. Over my dead body. God, you are actually insulting God. And perhaps these are people who pray to Satan. Those who spell God in reverse. Yeah. They are men like that. Those who have decided to do the opposite of what God ordained. And we all know. I have said even my dogs and pigs, they know they are women properly and fight for them. have to a bull in the crawl and try to introduce another. That one will say, what? You want to come and take my place? And as young men who used to have cattle, of course, you know the pleasure we had having bulls of that nature. No. Let us be correct. Having said that, I want to say to you, we have a cause that requires us to find remedies for it. We are on a mission whose mandate must be fulfilled. And it is the one vast mandate. We who are in the leadership have from our people. It is to address their condition, to try and remedy the things that keep them down. In other words, to try and transform our society, transform our people. Yes, through education, yet through system of health, but also give them that morality to choose right from wrong. That ethic or ethical sense always to avoid the negatives of society, the wrongs, and try to be on the right side, on the side of virtue, rather than on the side of vice. But this we can't do as single people and succeed fully. In a selfish way, we may perhaps endeavor to satisfy our individual needs. But we are talking here not just of individual needs, but of the collective needs of our society to provide which it is necessary for us to work together, unite. Unite in thought, unite in action, unite in love, unite in prayer, unite in your charitable dispositions. Charity, charity, charity. 1 Corinthians, isn't it? Joy and love with you all. Charity, charity, charity. They say it begins at home. And it is what our late Vice President enunciated, and for which we shall remember it all the time. When he said unity begins with me, with you, and all of us, he was at the same time saying, is charity. That I have the love that is a virtue in me, I must show to the next person. So we are united. And when you're united, you are not just united without love amongst you. We are united as one people. We are Zimbabweans. Let us recognize that, all of us, regardless of our political, religious, tribal, and other affiliations. That's it. And of course, as we bring up our kids, like this little kid will be here, try to develop them as much as possible. Let there be no ignorant children in your environment. Please no. Never. Try to assist those parents who, because of poverty, lack of means, cannot afford to sustain their children at school. But we say we must get to know what children are being denied their right to education. In whatever environment, it may be amongst the vendors, the Zulus, the Debeles, the Tongas, the Manikas, the Daos, anywhere. In the rural areas, deep in the urban areas, places like Soweto, I was going to say Soweto, Chitumbiza, and so on. Please, please, please ensure that it's just not your children going to school, that your neighbor's children also are doing the same. And if help is required, it is the responsibility of government, our responsibility to ensure that those children are taken care of. This kid, clever kid, I was asking the man who was introducing, I understand, the First Lady said, oh no, we must come from, I think, Kadoma, that's where he is, Chekutu, and come to her school, Heritage, the school of the orphans there. So, to do his grade 7 there, I'm glad I didn't know about it. Well, he is a clever one. Perhaps he already had parents to assist, but there are others who are very poor. Take on it, even if you take just one child from a poor family, that will be welcome. I have quite a handful every year. You cannot pay school fees. They would want to go to university. And we were trying to have these schemes, presidential scholarship, etc. But I'm thinking now the very poor, whose parents, appeal to you. Sometimes they appeal to you indirectly through others, through leaders. I'm going to praise it somebody to the president. And I read all of the letters. It doesn't matter what letter you see. So I know you're doing a lot for your children. I know you may be doing a lot for others. Let's keep it that way. That's the Zimbabwean way. We remain together, united and united for all time. tauya kuzodya sadza. Mukada kuramba makateerera vaMugabe ringadoke rikabuda futi tiri pano ngavasinyarara pamberi nepatana. Thanks very much for this due to not